Hello and welcome back to the Confessions of Two Reformed Friariyot. You're here with Mai.
And Ariel.
Hello.
How are you? How was your last week?
I'm good. Now I'm good.
Good.
After getting my priorities straight, after we kind of talked about that on our last episode.
The very busy bee and the women can do everything.
Yeah, we hope you guys like that. We'd love to hear, what you guys thought about it. You can comment on
Some
Instagram,
feedback.
TikTok, LinkedIn, whenever you find us, because I think it's very important to talk about these things openly and have this open discussion.
100%. How was the last 2 weeks for you? After we talked about it last week, after we had the whole session with Moria and Ziv,
Yeah.
kind of putting your priorities straight, what does that mean to you?
Yeah. So I mentioned this in the second episode, but I went on the Poland delegation, and one of the things they told us was when you get back, you'll have time to understand everything. When you get back, you're going to have time to feel everything. And I just met up with a couple people actually last week, and everyone said the same thing. And it's not anybody's fault, it's not that it was the delegation's job to make sure that we weren't busy when we get back, but the second all of us landed, it's been go, 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 because school waited, work waited, life waited. I can tell you 100% that me and most of the people on the delegation haven't had the chance to actually understand what we went through. And I feel like it's just been a sprint, and I want to live my life as a marathon. And it's something that I've always struggled with balancing the difference between knowing when to sprint and give it your all, but also knowing to slow down enough and have that length of a marathon in life.
I totally get that one. What was the point in the last week where you were like, I need to take a break? What did you feel did you get a bodily reaction? Was it more mental? Was it more like when you talked to friends and you were like, this is where I need to stop myself?
So after we recorded the last episode, it kind of like put up a mirror for me of all the things that I'm doing, but it's all good things. And I feel like when you have a lot of good things, may we always have good things, it's harder to pick and choose, because when something's bad, it's easy, right? It's like a bad friendship or a bad relationship. It's like toxic, bye.
Yeah.
But when you have a lot of good, you need to know how to say, okay, this is good, but it's not good for me now. And I had a friend who was going through a little bit of a breakdown situation with the same thing, that she's having way too many things. And I was giving her all this advice about it's okay if you drop things, and it doesn't mean you're a failure, and it's okay to let things go. Why wasn't I listening to my own advice?
Sometimes we need to take our own advice.
First of all, we always need
to take our own advice. And
we have good advice.
Take things with a grain of salt. Sometimes when you're telling other people,
100%.
We can 100% do that ourselves.
100%. And on Thursday, which is basically sometime last week, I guess, till this episode airs, but my body shut down for me. I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. I couldn't even talk to my parents. Like, I literally told them, guys, I can't talk to you right now because I don't know what's happening. I got scared. I was like, I don't know what is happening to my body. And it was my body signaling me a red light of stop. And I'm sick of getting to this point. I always get to this point, like 6 months, and then my body signals stop. Why are we always in this hustle culture? Why?
It's like the rat race.
It's enough.
Yeah.
We need to learn to slow down and run the marathon. And it's something that I'm learning, and I'm sure you're also learning, and most of the people our age are learning.
100%.
Because today we need to be part of 1,000 programs, and we need to have 1,000 years of life experience before a job to take me. Whoa, wait. So,
how do you get experience without having experience?
Yeah, that's the whole junior paradox. It's for a whole other episode that we need to find somebody from the industry to come and talk to us about it, and maybe give you guys tips and tricks as well, because I don't know.
I would love to hear.
Yeah, we'll definitely find, if any of you guys are former lone soldiers and today work in human resources or anything like that and would love to talk to us, we'd love to hear.
We'd love to talk to you and ask so many questions.
Because I think a lot of people are in the same boat as us, especially women who are trying to find themselves in this age range. And it's really difficult. But basically, I looked at myself this weekend and I was like, okay, these are the things that you have. What are you letting go? Not what are you giving up on? What are you letting go to make sure that you don't burn out anytime soon? So that's what I've been doing. And I feel
really
so much better.
How's the overwhelming feeling and like putting everything into priorities? What's one of your top priorities now?
This podcast, obviously.
Yay!
But also my health. Over the past 10, 11 months, I've really gone through a huge change, like also with food, my relationship with food, and also working out. And I really, really felt that in the past 3-4 weeks that I've in quotation, given it up, which means I only went for a walk once a week instead of doing the 3, 4, 5 times a week that I'm used to, destroyed me. My body was yearning for it because I realized that my outlet is physically working out. It lets me feel
I
good.
feel that one 100%.
Yeah, I know.
I am the same.
And everybody has their own outlets and different workouts that they do. And I know for me, it's like more strength training, and that kind of zones me in. And I know we talked about this, that yoga really does that for you. So do you feel like yoga's been kind of a grounding thing for you?
100%. I've been doing yoga for years and I love it. And I think it's definitely, I mean, I love going to the gym and lifting weights and all that kind of stuff. Running I can do, but that comes with its side effects every once in a while, if you know what I'm talking about. I think yoga for me has been a very good focus, and you're just doing it for yourself. It's 45 minutes. It's, even at the gym, you're doing it for yourself, but you don't look at anyone else, at least for me. I don't like the classes where you're in a mirrored studio. I like the ones where you're outside. No one's looking at you and you don't have to look at anyone else. You're only you, and you're on the mat and you're doing the entire workout and you're just following what the person says. It's like any other Pilates workout. It's like any other workout where it's in a group, but this is all about yourself. You're learning how to breathe again. You're learning how to refocus yourself. You're learning how to ground yourself. And as soon as I realized that about yoga, when I was in Thailand and I did my trip, so I really refocused on what yoga and fitness was for me, and how health is so important and how food is so important. And we're going to definitely get into that during this episode, because that's going to be our focus for us. Just a little bit before that, I wanted to ask you how the priorities have kind of shifted, and now that you're focusing on your health, of course, food and working out come hand in hand. But what's one of the things that you're really going to try and focus on in the next 6-8 months before you break down again? Because our goal is to try and not have burnouts anymore.
100%. First of all, give myself some credit about all the things I've been doing. Be kinder to myself. I think we said this on the last episode, but it's something that a lot of people have been telling me, and especially like my running coach, shout out Sid, has been telling me for a long time, because it comes hand in hand with everything. It's not just the targets that we make for ourselves when it comes to school and stuff like that, but just even running, being kind to myself and being like, today I can't run like I thought I could, but it's okay. I tried, I got up and I did it. And I think that's where the priorities need to lie. Because when I know to do that for myself, I can do that for my friends and keep doing that for my friends and family, which I love doing. And that comes in hand with everything else. And I realized when I woke up today that that's what I was feeling. And I was seeing so much clearer about what I want and the goals I want. And now I can work towards them. But also understand that, okay, 3 months from now, I'm going to have an exam. So I know that 3 weeks before the exam, I need to think forward. That it's important to live in the moment, and I'm a really big believer in that, but to also plan ahead. And that's why my schedule looks like a crazy woman's schedule with its color-coded situation. And by the way, I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and they have the same thing, like these two girls, they're CEOs, and they have their own calendar thing, and they said that there's this new AI buddy that comes and helps you. You give it what you want to do for the week.
Are we going to talk about AI in this podcast?
No, just first of all, yes, it's a big thing, but sound like a little thing. I need to look it up, but you put all the tasks that you want, and they're what you think is more of a priority for you, and it gives you what you should be doing every day in a priority way, so you don't miss it. And if you do miss it, then it mixes it up again and then prioritizes it again for you. How incredible is that?
That is incredible. This is the start of AI taking over our entire world. I'm just
saying. I haven't used it yet, but I'm saying I think it could be a really good thing. So let me know how it is. Yeah, for big businesswomen like us, you just need to something to help you
manifest.
But
okay, so priority has really been thinking ahead for you.
Yeah. How about you?
My priority for the next, let's say, semester, because we're kind of in the middle of the semester, not towards the end of the semester, which is crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. We're almost in Tkufat Mifranim and all of our finals. Wow.
Finals. We're not doing this whole sorry again, like the Canadian thing.
I really hope you guys like that part from last week.
People are going to start calling us racist for all this accent situation. Guys, we love everyone.
It's okay.
We love everyone and everybody's accents, I promise.
Ron can cut this out. I'm kidding. Shout out Ron.
Our producer and editor, by the way.
I think for myself, for the priority for the next, let's just say the end of the semester, because I will be starting Miloim. I'm announcing that. We're
Don't
starting.
make me cry.
I know.
Losing my wife. But it's okay because you'll come out and then I'll make you cookies and I'll make you anything you want.
Yay!
Yay!
Before I go to Miloim, I think my priorities for now are just gonna be getting all my school shit together, figuring out all of these midterms that they're giving us, all of these assignments, the avodot, the tests, because for me, when I go to Miluim, I have akalot. Like, it's a lot easier for me to finish my schoolwork because the school helps. And the school will give you tutoring. The school will try and help you as much as they can.
Yeah, Reichman especially is good at that.
Yes, for sure. And I know that a lot of schools around the country aren't. So I'm really appreciative about that. So I'm not very concerned about my actual exam season. I'm trying to prep everything beforehand. Like you said, thinking ahead, I know that my tests will be figured out. I know I will do avodot or assignments beforehand or after when I come back.
Yeah.
So my goal for now is definitely finishing the 10 assignments that I have before I start Miluim.
Second year's crazy, bro. Like, I felt the exact same way last year. Like, this year I have a breath of fresh air where I can do more things, but second year, lo hayauti. I wasn't even here.
Yeah.
It was insane.
I'm not drowning in it because a lot of them are group projects and it's fun. I love group projects because then you can be with other people and see how they work and understand all that kind of stuff. But there's also the flip side of it, and you have to you have to schedule with everyone. You have to make sure that everyone's actually going to show up and do their part and all that kind of stuff.
I was gonna say we finally found something that we don't have in common. I hate those things.
Yeah, it's hard, but I like being with people and I like learning from other people as well. So I kind of try and take that positivity out of it, the positive side. Exactly. So my goal is to finish these assignments before I go to Miloim.
Yeah.
Is to repot a few plants that I have in my apartment.
Yo, we need to go by, remember?
Yes, we do need to go to a mashtela.
We need to go, what is that in English?
Nursery?
That's what it's called? A plant nursery? What am I, nursing plants?
That's what they do there, don't they?
Nurse plants?
Maybe I'm completely wrong.
Whoa.
Wait, I'm going to look it up.
Plant nursery.
No, we need to actually...
But the word mashtela is not plant.
Lashtil is to
plant.
Okay,
but I'm not nursing them.
Really wrong.
Ask him what mashtela is.
Ask him. Who's him?
I don't know. I call ChatGPT by him. I don't know. People always tell me.
No, I use... It's a nursery. I was right.
Yo, ani bem.
It's a plant nursery. Okay, we're giving that in.
Plant nursery. Got it.
I learn new words every day.
Yeah, Ariel showed me a new plant nursery. It was beautiful. And there was a cafe nearby, so it was really, really nice.
A little coffee cart. I love those places.
Well, we have to go back.
Kind of, 100%. All of the business meetings from here on out are going to be there.
No, it's our new spot. 100%. I love it. I want that couch as well. I'm moving people from that couch when I get there. Like, excuse me, our names are on there. I don't know if you heard.
That was our spot on Friday morning after both of us had a little bit of overwhelming weeks. And on Thursday, we both kind of took a break and we said, okay, let's go have a good morning on Friday. And we did a bunch of things for the podcast, for us, and I think...
And future ventures in the work that we're really excited for.
Wow, tangent completely.
No, it's fine. We're gonna take you back to the nursery.
Yes, we're going back to the nursery. I have a few cooking goals, a few personal goals to kind of start other ventures like we've talked about.
Yeah.
Shout out to yesterday, one of my incredible friends from the army who's an incredible chef, Alexa. She is trying to build her brand more. And
you help her with social
media.
Insane
chef. Insane.
Wow. You brought me one of her things.
Yeah.
And now I feel crap about it.
It was
incredible.
It was so yummy.
Bread, or what was it? Like a bun,
It was like a sufganiyah. It was supposed to be a pull-apart sufganiyah.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yep.
Ay, ay, ay.
So definitely for those kinds of ventures, I want to keep going before I start Miluim, before I start reserves.
Yeah.
To kind of go to reserves for the 2.5 months that I'm going to be there and say, okay, I can put my life on pause for a little while and be in reserves and do my job in reserves.
And we will support you from out here as much as we can because that's the best we can do for all our reservists, but especially our women and our students who go. And it's crazy that this is still going on over 2 years, and I know it's for a good end goal in the end, but it's not
hard.
easy.
It is.
It's not easy.
So to go completely back to what this episode is supposed to be about, both of us were in the army and both of us are trying to prioritize health and food and working out a little bit more. Like I said, a few of my priorities until I start reserves. Do you have, like, let's say until the end of the school year, any health goals that you want to hit? Any, like, I want to do my 10K again. I want to do, because I know, shout out to did that. You did it with Sid.
Yeah, she ran the whole thing for me. She ran the whole thing with me. And she eats 10K for mini breakfast and then does another 30K at breakfast and does another 80K whenever she can. Yes. So the fact that
this woman,
she ran at my pace, walked when I walked. She's just my inspiration when it comes to this stuff. Like, in general, like, I think she's an amazing woman, and I really hope she listens to this episode. But she's an incredible person, and we set my new goal to be, I signed up for February 27th. If anybody else signs up, I would love to see you guys there. Maybe Ariel will also sign up.
If I wasn't to win.
There's a 5K. Maybe you'll get out for that day, but there's a 5K, 10K, 15K, half marathon, and a marathon. Oh, there's no 15K. It's 5K, 10K, half marathon, and marathon. I did it last year, but last year I did the 5K, and then I did the night run. I did the 10K, and my new goal is to do the 10K without stopping and to get to 60 or 65 minutes, because my first time was an hour 14, which was really, really good on my part.
That's
like,
incredible,
I thought I was going to get an hour and a half.
It was your first run?
It was my first run.
Wow.
And it was amazing. So that's my goal when it comes to running. I'm getting back into strength training, which is really fun. I've always loved that. I want to get Ariel's arms, this woman. I swear.
Mai's going to come to yoga with me.
It's been my dream to get these buffed arms, so we're working towards that. And yeah, I don't know. And something I'm really, really interested in that I know that it's more your field is that I have been eating healthy, but I don't intentionally add superfoods or intentionally.
Wow, you're speaking my language.
I'm not intentional with what I eat, because right now my goal has been like weight loss, which is great. And I'm almost at my goal weight and I'm almost at my goal situation. But after that, I want to start integrating superfoods and integrate things that are actually healthy for me, because like we said, we wanted to talk about the army.
Right.
You were a combat soldier, so I really want you to talk about your experience as a combat soldier who's a woman in the field, not having the nutrients she needs. I finished the army anemic as fuck. I went to
you and me both, sister.
I would take 3 naps after a 5-minute walk, and people would be like, no, you're just mentally exhausted. I was like, guys, I know my body and I know something's wrong. I went to the doctor, did blood tests. The second she saw my results and we sat, she sent me straight to the emergency room to go get IV done.
Wow.
For my iron, because she was like, I don't know how you're even talking to me right now. And yeah, it was because of the army.
At the end of your service?
It was, right after I got released. I wasn't feeling well. I wasn't sure, because I've never been anemic before. I've always had odef barzel. I've always had too much iron, because I love steaks. I love meat. And suddenly,
so when you were in Thailand, I'm going to interrupt you a second.
No,
when you were in Thailand, how did you feel about your eating situation? And then we'll shift a little bit to the army, and then I'll talk a little bit.
So we grew up in a relatively like healthy household, but my parents got way into health in the past like 10, 15 years. And I felt that that was already at the point that I was in high school and I made aliyah, so it was less reflected to me. Like, we always had good food, you know, like fish and stuff like that. But it's so easy to be outside and eat junk food and stuff like that. And I never really understood and never really cared. I'll be honest. I didn't really care about what I was eating. I was like, okay, This is food. And that's why I want to start intentionally adding vitamins and intentionally.
I love how you say that. Say it again.
Intentionally?
No, vitamins.
Vitamins? Do you say vitamins?
Yeah.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
Are we not friends anymore after this episode?
It's like when I say, oh, I want a bowl of pasta. And everyone laughs at me and they're like, why do you think pasta? It's pasta.
Okay. We're not going to have this conversation.
No, we're not, because I'm
how
not
do you
American.
Say toot in English?
Toot?
In English.
Oh, strawberry?
Strawberry.
Strawberry. Dai, you want a whole episode about accents and things? This is shaming.
We can
harassment.
We can have some of our international friends come on and start talking in all their accents and see what happens.
My God, no, we'll just have ChatGPT on the third microphone and be like, sir, how do I say this?
Anywho,
what I'm asking is, what do you consider to be superfoods? How do you feel like that's been helping you with your nutrition and your life? And what would you recommend to me and to our listeners?
Okay,
as
so
women,
definitely. Food and you are what you eat is a very big thing that I agree with.
Yeah.
It's a very cliche thing to say. I definitely believe that the things that you put in your body is obviously what comes out of your body and how you feel. And as soon as you put something like, and just complete example, sugar, a spoonful of sugar is a lot. People put a spoonful of sugar in their coffee in the mornings, and then they have a second coffee when they get to work. And then I'm not saying this is you, because both of us drink a yamba of coffee all the time.
I changed to sucrazit. I don't know how you say that.
It's like
it's
half
still
sweetener,
sweet, but it's a sweetener, yeah.
So people
Still
have also
unhealthy.
gone to honey, silan, date syrup, putting maple syrup in their drinks instead, because it's not straight sugar. It's not just a spoonful of white sugar. It's horrific for you. It's so bad. Yesterday I was at Ampam, and one of my friends came up to me and she was like, have you ever heard of this before? It's like sweet tamago, sweet something. I don't remember the name of whatever it is. It's like sucrazit extra. And I looked on the back of it and I go, look at what it actually says. Look at how much sugar.
The back of the box, guys. The back of the package.
Is actually written how much nitran, how much sodium, and how much sugar are in these things. We don't understand what we're putting in our food. And when you make the food, exactly what you said, you had good food when you grew up in Thailand. You had fish, you had chicken, you had beef, you had all of these things that are really good for your body. But it's not, you weren't necessarily eating it in the correct way, or you were overeating it and then you had extra iron and then your body didn't really know how to balance it. It makes total sense. I grew up vegan, completely vegan, and I came to the army and they didn't really know how to handle it. Okay, so I said, that's fine, guys, I'm gonna start eating cheese. But if my body, and like milk products and all that kind of stuff, if my body wasn't used to it, it didn't agree with it. And I didn't really know how to accept the fact that I want to eat these things. I want to try new things. I want to try meat at some point. I want to try fish at some point. I want to branch out into the food world because I love this stuff. I love cooking. I love making food for friends. I love putting stuff into my body that's good for me, because that's the whole point.
100%.
So as soon as I got to the army, it was very difficult, because when you walk in and you say, hi, I'm a vegan, they're kind of like, no, you're not.
What are you?
That's not what's going to happen here.
We'll send you to the plant nursery.
Yep, exactly. And I walked in and I was like, okay, I'm also in combat. I'm also a woman and I'm also vegan. What do I do here? And they were like, here's your manakim. And like in the army, it's kind of just a box of canned food.
Wow, you couldn't even eat tuna.
Nope.
Girl, where the hell were you getting your protein from? Chef Nafalia Simon, like now I'm realizing.
Yeah.
Where, what?
I had a really big issue in the army with food, because what I would eat was white rice.
Oy.
Any of the breakfast options.
I'm Asian. I love white rice.
But it's not good for you. It's not nutrients. It's just starch. Like there's really nothing there. That was really hard for me, because also being in combat and you have to have enough energy to do the things that they're telling you to do. And it was 2.5 years of running all the time, carrying kirami in the vest all the time. And you have to have energy. You have to be able to hold yourself up. And exactly what you said, you went and you had 3 naps during the day and you were exhausted after a 5-minute walk.
Exhausted.
I completely understand, because I had so many things that were missing, because I grew up in a way that you can get your protein, you can get all of these things from a vegan diet 100%. But I didn't necessarily have all the knowledge that I have now when I went into the army and they were like, here's your can of garbanzo beans. That's your protein for the day. And I sat there and I was like, okay, I didn't know anything. What I was doing with food was not at all in my conscience. And I didn't really understand what I was putting into my body. So the second that I also got an iron shot, I have done this 1,000,001 times in this country. I actually never went back to the States and got my blood tested. I've only ever done it here.
No, Israel's pretty good at that. Like, I'll give it that. Like, not everything's good in the medical system, but when it comes to doing blood tests and getting the work really quickly, in 3 hours, it's on my app.
Yes. And
I see it, and then I can go to the doctor and make sure that everything's okay.
Exactly. So when you're in the army, it's a little bit difficult.
No, that's different. Yeah.
But I did 100%. They've gotten better. I would say I did probably 4 or 5 iron shots towards the end of my service. So in like a 8-10 month span, I did a lot of them. That's because crazy. I realized how much I was missing, and I don't remember the exact number. It's out of 200, I think.
Something
we were
like
talking
that,
about.
Yeah.
I probably had like 5.
Yeah.
Like I was missing
34.
it all. Like it was horrific. So I was really, okay, I'm going to try new things. I'm going to start making meat. I'm going to start trying fish. I'm going to try all of these things that I never had when I was younger and see if it helps my health, obviously.
So you were a vegan mi principe, like on the principles of veganism?
I was raised
Because I always
vegan.
ask people this. But your parents raised you vegan because they really think it's healthy, or because don't kill the animals, or a mix of both?
It was a little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah. And I always had the option of trying new things. I was
Okay.
always able to be like, okay, go with your friends and have pizza.
Yeah.
But I never really was like, oh, Zimmegaroti. I really want to try something new. I never had that
Yeah,
feeling
especially
of
when you're raised in a certain
meat.
way, it's different.
Right.
Yeah.
I never had the feeling of, oh, wow, a barbecue. Everyone loves barbecue. You know
I
how much
love barbecue.
Right, and we were talking about this weekend how much your barbecue in your house. I would love to go there.
Hell yeah, we're gonna do that.
100%. I just didn't grow up with the feeling of meat is something that you can crave, or
Yeah.
fish is something that you can crave, or I don't know,
That's
a cheese
crazy.
plate, like something that has dairy products.
Yeah.
And now I
Interesting.
love cheese plates. Make me a fucking charcuterie board. However you make that.
Charcuterie board.
Make me a charcuterie board.
I'm dead. It's one of the hardest things to say in the English language,
don't
and I'm
know.
an English teacher.
I don't know. Okay, how do-
Charcuterie.
yeah, that one. Make that when I come out of Miloim, okay?
No problem. I got
Deal.
3 bottles of wine waiting for
Perfect.
you. Some grappes. some
Some of the
chains.
blueberries that I brought over on Thursday.
They're still in my apartment. You should definitely come over and have them.
So I opened my world up to all of the superfoods
Yeah.
and all of the other things that are good for you.
Yeah.
These are nutritious
Mind-blowing.
items. Yeah, it really is. And now I crave having a barbecue with friends.
Yeah.
I crave going and making schnitzelim in my kitchen. Like, this is fun for me. I love
I love that.
doing those kinds of things. And I've been able to grow from the vegan 13-year-old. Yeah.
From the
and
plant
bloom
nursery.
And exactly.
Bloom into a flower.
Bloom into someone that
A
knows.
carnivorous flower.
Well, but I don't know.
Sorry, there's just so many puns and innuendos you can do with this.
It's so true. I think that now that I actually understand how good food is for you, and not to be all cliche and what you put in your body, like I said before, is really who you
but
are.
We've talked
but
about
it's
this.
really
Cliche
true.
is true.
Right.
There's a reason they're cliches.
Right. And there's a reason there's stereotypes, and we'll talk about that definitely in another episode. But to answer your question,
Yeah, tell
after
me about
all
the
of our
actual
tangents,
superfoods. Like, tell me what you would recommend and what each
Okay.
food group provides you in vitamins and stuff like that.
I'm gonna always make fun of your vitamins. We have spirulina. We have all of the chia seeds. You have hemp seeds, which are actually illegal in this country.
What? What
yeah.
is a hemp seed?
Hemp is where
What? The hump of a camel? What is
hemp.
hemp? What's a hemp?
He's gonna have to do so much cutting in this episode. Hemp
No, he
is where
doesn't. It's fine.
hemp is where
How was I supposed to know that? Not all of us
You're
are
not.
whatever.
hemp seed eaters.
Hemp seeders. Wait, can you get high from just eating hemp seeds?
I think you test positive on a drug test.
Die.
If you have too many poppy seeds too, because poppy seeds is where like
And Juan
some-
poppy seeds, yeah, it's
coke.
like
I don't know.
opium. And all
Opium.
that,
Yeah. One of those. Anywho, know way too little about.
Okay,
that
so you
kinda
mentioned
stuff.
spirulina. As a
Spirulina. What do
woman-
you put in? Yeah, really don't know the specifics to be honest with you.
Okay.
But
But
anything that's a green superfood, I believe, put in a smoothie.
okay.
Put it in. Why are you laughing at me already?
Because
Put
your
it in
face
something.
is so scary.
Put it in a smoothie.
Sorry, guys. I've never been asked to put something in a smoothie in such a
Do you
serious
like-
way.
Do you like? Okay, now in all seriousness, do you like protein smoothies or shakes or
Yes.
drinking your superfoods, or would you rather eat it in a meal?
Yes, because I'm watching my caloric intake very specifically, it's a little difficult with the protein smoothies because they're high in calories, but they're good when you're bodybuilding. And right now I'm not bodybuilding.
Right.
I will want to start working on that soon, but I've been staying away from that. But what I do have is smoothies, because smoothies is just adding a bunch of vegetables and fruit into a blender, and
Right, 100%. So my
natural.
favorite smoothie to make is Greek yogurt, because you have as many calories as the spoon that you put in or the cup that you put in.
It's also really
however
healthy,
much
right?
it's healthy for you, it's good for you, all the antioxidants and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff that's in the Greek
The
yogurt.
probiotics.
The probiotics, and then you can add whatever protein powder you like. You
Yeah.
can add any of the superfoods that we can talk about. Your spirulina, the hemp seeds, the chia seeds, the spinach, frozen veggies, frozen anything, and you
Is
just
it
toss
yummy
it.
though, girl? די, לא לחרטט אותי.
לא לחרטט, I put a lot of flavoring.
Ay, ay, ay. And here's the secret, people. All these people being like,
love
eat your
peanut
spinach.
butter. Love peanut butter. I will
it's
have
an
a
American
spoon
thing, right?
full of peanut butter anytime you give it to me, okay?
You guys see my face?
What do? I put peanut butter flavored protein powder, and then I make a banana smoothie. You can make any kind of smoothie that you like, and it has protein. It's good for you. I don't really believe... 1 second, Mai. We are not taking questions yet. I really believe that if you put things in a drink and you like... I don't believe in the meal replacement shit, okay?
So that's what it feels like, that I have to replace a meal and then I get hungry 2 hours later. And then I'm like, fuck.
Because when you drink something, it goes faster in through your system.
Yeah.
Obviously. You're digesting it faster than food being broken down in your stomach. That comes into play a lot when you're drinking your meals instead. I think when you put these superfoods inside a salad, inside mukbats, like something that you make with meat on the stove, any sort of Asian dish, you can add the superfoods 100%. It just won't necessarily combine as much as you want. It might burn off. It might, I don't know, dissolve a little bit more or a little bit less than you want, and then the taste will just be a little bit different. That's why I specifically like smoothies, because you can add whatever you like inside. You can make it a cherry chocolate chip protein smoothie. I don't know, whatever you want. But it's a good way to kind of have a meal or a side meal or a pre-meal or an appetizer or a breakfast before your breakfast. And you can say, at least I had my 40 grams of protein of today. And then, not that I can say now eat ice cream all day long, but just, you don't have to be as intentional and as thought-provoking. You don't have to really like think about it as much of what you're putting in your body. But still eat all of your meals. Still have all of the protein intake that you need. Still watch your calories like you want to and how you are. But just be intentional about it. It was the first thing that you said when we started this episode.
Yeah,
I just want to be intentional. Okay, so watch what you put in your body. Understand what the superfoods do to you.
Yeah.
And
I
how
really
they
need
help
to look
you.
into it. It's important to know what you're
And
eating.
I will 100% help you with the research, but
Yeah.
it just depends on what you actually like. Do you like the consistency of chia seed pudding?
Yeah.
Do you like the consistency of putting spirulina and spinach and all of these like healthy things in your salad or in your smoothies? You have to just decide those kinds of things with yourself, and then you say, this is going to be my superfood. I love mushrooms, okay? Put this in everything.
Yes.
Mushrooms are so good for you.
Yes.
So good for you. And this is something that my stepmom taught me, shout out, that if you put mushrooms on a cast iron pan and you make eggs, you make anything with it, okay? You put garlic and onion, you're done for the breakfast.
First of all, yes. Second of all, that came out so American. I don't know if you heard. You sounded like a redneck right there. Jesus. I was like, oh my, who am I sitting with right now? Wow. The mushrooms brought it out in her. Like, you put it on what did you say?
On a cast iron?
Yo, what the fuck is that? It's le nuevo a la plancha. A la plancha.
So, however you make your mushrooms, we can also put them at the alaish at the barbecue, okay? We can make them however we like. But they're so good for you. They're so good for you. Even the small things that we eat bayom yom every day, the yogurt that you have in the morning, instead of having it be, just the regular like Yoplait yogurt, I don't know, whatever company that you go straight that you go straight to, get the protein yogurt. Get a little bit more. Right. And I know you do, and I know I do. But for those listening that want just a little bit more of, okay, I'm going to have a little more protein, a little more substance in my meal. I'm going to be intentional of what I actually eat. You can say, just grab for something else. When you go to the grocery store, just grab something different. Instead of going straight to the crackers, chocolates, snacks, spicy things, any of those kinds of outlets that a lot of us go to, you can say, I'm just gonna grab an apple. Okay, it's not yummy necessarily, but you're grabbing something else. So your first instinct, your first thought when you're even going into your kitchen later that day, later that week, is I want a fruit instead of ice cream.
It's changing your default setting.
Yeah, exactly.
It's my default of, if I want something sweet, it's automatically Ben and Jerry's. But
why does it have to be the thing that's 4 scoops of sugar in it? It can be all of the natural sugars
No,
that
100%.
the earth gives to us.
100%, but I also don't believe in having to change it completely. Like, I don't think if you love ice cream, you need to go only to fruits.
Oh,
There's
absolutely
also
not. I
ice
bought
creams-
2 for $1 Ben & Jerry's last night.
No, of course, but there's also ice creams that have low sugar, or if you have a problem with your cholesterol or stuff like that. Like,
Exactly.
you're so right that when you go into the supermarket, we always have our eye on something specific that we know or grew up with, and we forget that, wait, but first of all, I'm an adult now. We forget that. I have free will and free choices. I can go and ask. I can
make
go
our
and
decisions.
see. Yeah, we forget that a lot of the times.
Yes, and as women, you also have to support your body in a little bit of a different way than men do, 100%. And we also, once a month, you have to support yourself even more, and you can eat more iron. You can eat more things that are going to support your body. And I think that's also really important to understand more about your own body.
Wow, I really want us to bring a nutritionist.
Let's do it.
I want us to, like, a couple episodes from now when we get back into this, because I think it's such an important topic. It's something that I saw Instagram reel on, the stereotypes that have been happening. Like an ice bath. Everybody's like, oh, an ice bath is amazing, whatever.
Oh, I could talk about this for hours.
And people looked into it, and actually ice baths for women don't help regulate our hormones because, surprise, we don't have the same hormones as men. So it might not be bad for you, but it's not as beneficial as people are making it out to be. And we forget that there's so many different things that women have that men don't. And I think we
and
really
vice versa, yes. But there's a lot of things that
100%.
for us will be so beneficial and are so good. And I definitely want to ask
we have
you.
to find an expert.
Well,
I'm
how
thinking about
we
this.
will find an expert, but
it's
can
so
you tell me a
important.
little bit about how your nutritionist and how she's really, what's her name? Remind me.
Avia.
Love her. Shout out. We're doing so many shout outs these last few episodes. I think that she's definitely given you a grounding goal, and you can set a goal with a nutritionist or with a fitness instructor or whoever you need. But how has she been able to help you on your journey of from the arm? Let's say you started in Thailand and you had really good eating habits and your iron was through the roof. Incredible, but you needed to balance it a little bit. When you came to the army, it was the exact opposite kitson. Like you had a complete opposite
It was extreme.
extreme. How was she able to help you balance that? How was she able to help you ground that whole spectrum?
So first of all, I wouldn't recommend anybody to take a nutritionist or to take a personal coach or anything like that until you are mentally stable enough to be able to take it and not go into a bad place with it. Because I think I don't know about men, but I think a lot of women, because specifically I've heard a lot of stories from friends and women in general, that when you start this journey and you're not in a good space mentally about your body and about your outlook in life, you will take it completely different, and it can get you to such a bad point. And it can lead to eating disorders and dysmorphia and just bad places that I know friends that I, Baruch Hashem, have not gotten to, but I know people that have, and it's terrible. And I think it's so hard to get out of it. So I made
First step is being mentally stable enough to take that advice from another person.
100%.
And was it specifically you said you wanted a woman nutritionalist?
Yes. I actually didn't really think about the gender. I knew her from the army.
Okay.
And I saw that she started studying this, and I really, really liked her content. So I reached out to her, but only at the age of 25, guys. This was literally this year. It was the first time that I felt mentally prepared to be able to make this change, and not just physically and not just for, oh my God, I lost whatever. No. Because I knew that I wanted my inside to reflect my outside.
I'm so proud of you.
And how am I supposed to keep going upon this earth when I'm not even happy with what I'm like? I don't feel like it's
what you're feeding yourself. Exactly.
And when we had that conversation, it was very important to me to hear what she was going to say. Because, I've heard nutritionists and I've heard people that aren't the best, and they're all about getting results quickly and all about now. No. And what she was saying was, I want to provide a lifestyle for you. I want to be with you as long as you need. But at the end of the day, when I let your hand go and when you leave me, you'll be able to live 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years in this healthy lifestyle.
120 years.
And
give it.
No, yeah, for sure. But like, I feel like when I'm older, I'm not going to give a fuck and I'm going to eat McDonald's all day. But in general, like for these coming years where I want to be in my prime, she allowed me to think like that. And I didn't think it was possible. I was like, how am I supposed to do that change? And it was hard, Ariel. It wasn't, my God, I'm going to change. The first 3 months, Imale, to make that default setting go away, took a lot for me. And it's going to take a lot from you guys as well. But I really believe that if you want to make a change, then you have to start, first of all, now, start from a healthy place. And it needs to come from you. When it's coming from people that it's like, no, maybe you should. First of all, people shouldn't be commenting on your body and people shouldn't be commenting on your eating habits. And anybody who's doing that, get them the fuck out of your life. And if you can't, because sometimes it's family, take them for a sikha, a talk, and be like, no. It needs to come from you, and it came from me. And that's why it's been such a healthy journey, and I'm still with her. I love
that. It came from you, and it's for you.
Yes. T-shirts.
Wow, I love that.
At the plant nursery and stuff.
I think it's so important when you finally realize, okay, this is going to be what I want to do for myself, and you took the nutritionist. So after the first step of you said, I'm going to be mentally healthy enough, I am mentally healthy enough to do this. What was the next step for you?
So we had a discussion. And then she explained to me like what sort of foods should be like better for me, because I also explained to her that I work out, right? Like it needs to also be that I'm eating enough because I'm working out, because I told her this is my goal isn't to become, you know,
a bodybuilder or
underweight. My goal is to be healthy, to feel healthy, and a part of that is working out. So we looked at like all the food groups and stuff like that, and then she built a menu for me. And at the beginning I really stuck to it because I was like, this is what I need. But slowly you learn that, wait, but this food group can be changed with this food group. And I feel like I just have such a healthy relationship with food that when I come back from khul, like from abroad, I've been abroad like 4 or 5 times since I started with her. And even when I was abroad, she like helped me understand what I can eat abroad. And she's, you know, when I was in Italy, it's like, yeah, you can eat that pasta, just make sure that near the pasta you have vegetables. Balance yourself.
Exactly.
Because being like no is not going to get you anywhere, and that's not a lifestyle. That's just for now, and you're not going to see any lifelong results for that. And I feel like I've been able to also influence my friends with that, because suddenly people see, you can actually do things in a healthy way, and how surprising.
And as long as you're intentional about what you're putting in your body,
like you said, yeah, exactly,
you can 100% do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, you put something, you fuel yourself. Food is fuel. And that 100%. Was one of the things that I learned in the army, before the army. Yeah. Every part in life where you're like, okay, what do I do now because I don't know what to eat? It's fuel. It doesn't matter if you're putting a full Ben & Jerry's tub of ice cream into your body, or just because I gave the example before, a protein shake. You get the same amount of sustenance, but it's sugar, an entire box of sugar and chocolate, whatever's in there. Or all of these other things, all of the other superfoods that you can add into it, all of the other antioxidants, all of the good foods that you can really put in your body, and you're fueling yourself. That's the entire thing. And 100%. I'm so happy that you got this nutritionist and you have that process that you're going through, because it's so important to be healthy with your food and intentional about it.
100%. I want to say one last thing before we wrap it up, is that I feel like, you know, men also, and fathers and brothers also have this responsibility. But I feel like as women, as older women or women our age or younger women, we have such a responsibility to reflect this to the younger generation. And I know that I'm going to be wanting to do this with my daughters in the future, if it'll be with girls, you know, with men, also with my boys as well. But with my sister, I try to do this, and with my friends and with all the women around me, that it's okay to talk about these things, and it's okay to be vocal, and it's a safe space, because until we don't talk about these things, we're not able to take care of them. And sometimes we've gotten into this thing where it's like, no, we can't talk about food because calories. No, you don't need to talk about those things. It's just talking about what's healthy. And maybe you made a recipe, you know how you're talking about the cookbook you want to make and share with your friends. Maybe you made a recipe that you think is full of nutrients and it's packed. Share that with the girls, because that makes me want to go, okay, so I want to go cook, and I want to get into my kitchen and do it for me, to make me feel healthier. And I think it's an incredible thing to have that female community. And just this morning I was talking with somebody who's trying to surround herself with powerful women, and it's incredible. And I just want for us to keep doing that on this podcast, but also in our lives, because it affects you in everything, in food and in work and in school and just in everything that you do.
Friendships and everything. Was there something, just before we wrap up, a little piece of advice that anyone's given you in the last week that you really focused and you were like, this is what I want to work towards, or this is something that I really want to continue with, or from the nutritionist, or from someone in the gym with you, or from your running buddy, or from Sid, any of these kinds of people that really shined a light on something for you?
So it's very similar to what I told you. I think it's the 3rd episode. The last episode week we did, about changing perspective. Now, sometimes I forget that perspective is not just about how I wake up in the morning and how I see the day. Yeah, that's important. But how I talk to myself. That if I talk to myself like I have these things now and not what if, but maybe not, but maybe, no. I have this podcast. I have this business. I want to be this person. I am this person. The way that we talk to ourselves is the way that the world is going to see us. And it will, until we don't see ourselves in a certain way, why would anybody else take you seriously? And it's the same thing we said about, I'm sorry, I keep saying this about men. Like I really, I love
Nothing
you guys.
against the men.
I think men are great. Okay. This is not, I have very powerful and amazing men that support me in my life. But it's the fact that men just have this thing where it's very obvious to them that they can do this. And that's amazing. And I'm so happy for them. And I hope they keep doing this. But as women, we don't have this thing that it's obvious for us to succeed, that it's obvious for me to be able to sit here and talk to you on this podcast. I feel ashamed. I feel guilty.
Shouldn't.
But why should we feel guilty about this? Yeah. I am a woman who wants to have her own business, who wants to have her own podcast, who wants to be healthy and wants everything. And I want to bring all the women up with me and be able to have a woman empire standing next to me. And it's like Moria and Ziv that we interviewed. And it's like what we talk about. And I feel like you have the same goals. And until we don't voice these and be vocal about it, other women won't feel like they'll be able to be vocal about it. And we won't be able to achieve our goals.
I'm so happy that you said it out loud because that means now it has to happen.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm so excited.
You can wrap
for the
it up
future.
for us and give us also a little advice you'd want to give our listeners.
I for sure think being, like I said it 5 or 6 times this entire episode, just be intentional with what you do, what you say to yourself, what you're saying to your friends and family, what you're putting in your body, because it's so important and it tracks you down. It really follows you when you're 80, 90 years old and you ate McDonald's your whole life and you smoked 5 packs of cigarettes.
Kidding.
And I know, but I will be watching you.
And it won't be McDonald's, guys. I'm sorry.
What is it going to be? Burger King?
Bitch, why you gotta know me so well? In
Just
Thailand,
a
we don't
little-
have
I
Five
know.
Guys and Raisin Canes or whatever y'all have.
We have very interesting things in America.
I know, I really want to try.
I will take you to America and we will try it all.
Next
I
girls trip.
definitely think being intentional, that's going to be my big tip for anyone who's listening and wants to try and fix the superfoods and all the nutrition that's happening in their life and the working out. And we can have 1,000,001 episodes about the ice baths and about the saunas and about the self-help stuff.
Yeah.
I definitely think being intentional is going to be the biggest keyword, the biggest thing, that if you put your right foot forward when you get up in the morning, or your left foot if you're lefty, I don't know, and you say, I'm going to do this today. I'm going to be intentional because this is how my day is going to look. This is what I'm going to eat today. Not because you're psycho and you want to plan every single thing about your life. No, you're going to be intentional and you're going to take all of these things and you're going to be proud of yourself. You're going to be happy that you did it.
100%.
You're going to come back next week and you're going to say, wow, Ariel, this week I ate so well and I felt good about myself and I worked out enough and I ran enough that I wanted. And it's not because you're putting a goal and not reaching it. You're giving yourself credit for what you did.
100%.
And it's so hard to not. And I think it comes with the intentionality 100%.
Yeah.
And on that note, we're going to wrap this one up. And I think for next week, if you have any suggestions on topics or things that you want us to talk about, anyone you want us to interview.
Yeah, please, guys, reach out. Like, we're now on almost every platform. You can look at our link tree on Instagram. And you can find us on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. We're really there. You can comment.
Spotify and Apple Music.
Yeah, and really comment even on the videos. We look at everything, or send us a private DM. We're super, super available. And we really, really want to hear, because at the end of the day, you're listening to us and we're doing this for you guys. So thank you for listening up till now. And
I
thank
hope
you
you have a
again.
good week. And
You
I think
too, love. You too.
I hope you have an intentional week.
I love that. We need to end like that all the time.
Perfect. We will.
So thank you, guys. And don't forget, in the meantime, don't be a friar.